All right, let's get right into it. Today we're diving into one of those stories, the kind that's only passed along in whispers. It's a tale about one single, terrifying night in a hospital morgue, a night that seems to completely defy any kind of logical explanation. And really, the whole thing kicks off with this idea, right? The world is full of many strange stories and secrets for which science has found no explanation. It's like some things just don't fit into a neat little box. And that thought, well, that's the perfect way to get into the really strange and unsettling stuff that's about to happen. So our story really revolves around one guy. He's the solitary keeper of what's got to be the quietest and, let's be honest, the most final place in any hospital. Yeah, we're talking about the morgue. And this isn't some ancient legend. The way it goes, the story was told firsthand. The person who first heard it was just visiting a friend late one night at the hospital. He gets to talking with one of the security guards, the guy who works that lonely, dead silent night shift down in the morgue. And this is the guy right here, the man at the center of everything, Uncle Saeed. He's over 50, and you can just tell by his face that he's got a lifetime of stories etched in there. He was a quiet type, the kind of person you just know has seen things they don't talk about. But for whatever reason, on this one night, he decided to unlock a memory he'd kept hidden for a long, long time. Okay, so we've got the scene set. It's a quiet night. You've got that echoing silence of a morgue. And then what should have been a totally routine arrival. But as you're about to find out, it was anything but routine. It all started just like any other shift, really. A call comes in from upstairs and a body is brought down in the morgue. For Uncle Saeed, this was just the normal rhythm of his job. Nothing out of the ordinary. Now, the details here are pretty grim, I gotta warn you, but they're really important for what happens next. The body was from a really bad traffic accident, and it was completely disfigured. A tragic sight for sure, but honestly, not something that would have been unusual for Saeed to see in his line of work. And Saeed, being the pro that he was, just went through all the standard procedures. Didn't even think twice. He did the paperwork, prepped the body, and slid it right into its refrigerated drawer, securing it. Everything was by the book. Job done. Or so he thought. And this is the exact moment where the whole night just cracks wide open. This is where the normal, predictable world of the morgue takes a sharp, bizarre turn into something totally unknown. So just a little while after he locked that drawer up, Saeed notices something that just makes him freeze. The door. The door to that specific refrigerated unit, it was open. Just a little. But that was impossible. He was absolutely certain he'd closed it. So he cautiously looks inside, probably holding his breath, right? And the drawer, it's empty. The body, the one he had just put in there with his own two hands, was just gone. Imagine that feeling. A cold wave of just pure dread and panic must have hit him. Standing there in that sterile, silent room with only one impossible question screaming in his head. How? I mean, what happens when you see something impossible? You don't just start questioning what's real. You start questioning your own mind. And that is exactly the terrifying spot Uncle Saeed found himself in. And this is where things get even weirder, because you have this clash of two completely different realities. Saeed, totally panicking, runs to grab a coworker to show him the empty drawer. But when they get back, everything's normal. The drawer is shut, the body is inside, right where it's supposed to be. So for Saeed, the body had vanished into thin air. But for his colleague, nothing was ever wrong in the first place. Of course, what does his colleague do? He just laughs at him. Tells him he's tired, that the lonely hours are playing tricks on his mind. So now, Saeed is not only terrified, he's also humiliated. He's left all alone wondering, am I actually going crazy? But the night was not over. Not by a long shot. After his coworker left, brushing the whole thing off as just an old man's tired imagination, the real horror was just about to kick in. So here's how it went down, and it happened fast. His colleague leaves. Saeed is alone again, in that dead silence. And then, it happens again. The door is open, the body is gone. But this time, there's no doubt. This wasn't his mind playing tricks on him. This was real, and it was deeply, terribly wrong. He didn't stick around to investigate. He didn't call for help. He just ran. He bolted from the morgue and didn't even look back. He just waited outside in the cool night air where he felt safe, and he refused to go back into that building until the sun was up and his shift was officially over. He was just that terrified. There was no way he was going to face whatever was in there alone. So what happens after a night of pure, impossible terror? Well, for Uncle Saeed, the answer was pretty much nothing. Just silence. When the morning crew came in to take over, they did their usual inspection. And just like before with his colleague, they found nothing wrong. The morgue was quiet. All the bodies, including the one from the accident, were right where they should be, safe in their drawers. There was zero physical evidence that anything weird had happened at all. And because of that, because there was absolutely no proof, Saeed just kept it to himself. I mean, he'd already been laughed at once. How could he possibly explain that it happened a second time, and that this time he was sure? He knew nobody would ever believe him, so he just carried that terrifying memory of that night all by himself. You know, in the end, a story like this, it all comes down to belief, doesn't it? Saeed told the young man passed it on. It's like this unbroken chain of one person telling another, and now that chain reaches you. So the question that's just left hanging in the air, the one without an easy answer, is really the only one that matters. Do you believe him?